title of US CQM forecast alert on March 13, 2020 is the coronavirus simulation for the US economy, an unavoidable recession? We have updated main February price indicators in this week's CQM forecast, as this slide shows. Since CQM has not updated actual March economic indicators, CQM forecast has not fully reflected the coronavirus effect yet. Therefore, CQM forecasts the growth rate of real GDP in 2020 Q1 to be about 2.3% on both the expenditure and the income sides. Since PCA uses financial statistics such as interest rate spread and stock prices, PCA reflects the coronavirus effect more quickly than CQM. PCA forecasts the growth rate of real GDP to be 1.8% in 2020 Q1, lower by 0.5% than CQM forecast. We make a simulation study about the effect of the coronavirus on the US economy by assuming drops in S&P 500. Since there are strong relationships between S&P 500 and other variables, such as long-term interest rate, retail sales, and money supply, we change these variables based on the assumptions of S&P 500. S&P 500 dropped by about 1,000 points from 3,386 on February 19 to 2,481 on March 12. This estimation result shows if S&P 500 index falls by 100 points, long-term interest rate decreases by 0.14%. This estimation result shows if S&P drops by 100 points, retail sales decrease by $1,167 million. This estimation result shows if S&P 500 index drops by 100 points, money supply increases by $10.96 billion. We can consider it as a Fed injection of liquidity. We assume the drops in S&P 500 index from the baseline in simulation 1, 2, 3, and 4 every month respectively by 100 point, 200 point, 300 point, and 400 point. It's likely that monthly average of S&P 500 will drop to 2,800 in March, as SIM4 assumes. This slide shows the simulation result. Even if S&P falls by 400 points in March, as SIM4 assumes, the economic growth will not be negative in 2020 Q1. SIM4 forecasts the economic growth rate to be 0.87% in 2020 Q1. If the S&P 500 drops by more than 300 points, a recession in 2020 Q2 and Q3 will not be avoided. Conclusion from this week's CQM forecast alert. First, US economic growth rate will not be negative in 2020 Q1, even if stock price sharply falls in March. The U.S. economy will turn out to be a modest growth in 2020 Q1. Second, PCA forecasts the economic growth rate in 2020 Q2 and Q3 to be between 1.0% and 1.5% for the 100-point drops in S&P 500, and between 0% and 1.0% for the 200-point drop. If S&P drops more than 300 points, a recession in 2020 Q2 and Q3 will not be avoided. This slide shows additional information about the original developer of CQM and the theoretical papers.